OpenAI debacle, and I think the conversation, Dan, is like this thing is resolved, and what were the reverberations? Like, I don't think we need to rehash every single gameplay that happened, but new lookup on the board. Microsoft still doesn't have a voting board seat, and Sam Altman is back, and Ilya is not on the board anymore. But what does this mean? I mean, is this done, Dan? And what does it mean?
I mean, look, this is wild, and the amount of speculation is just crazy. I mean, look, it was great for media appearances. You know, I had a chance to go on Fox Business, talk about this for a while. And by the way, anyone that like said anything with a sort of emphatic tone is looking really stupid right now.
Yeah.
You know, like when I saw the news break, my news was basically like, this isn't the whole story. Just wait. There was no way that what we heard was the whole story. Whether it was, you know, first of all, if he really was thrown out, it was probably going to be for something like nefarious. It wasn't like because, oh, this guy was too ambitious, we got to get rid of him. It was like, you know, I was worried that they like, you know, found like him and Michael Vick, like, you know, like dinner together. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it just wasn't going to be something like that. And then once you realize it wasn't likely that, then you're like, all right, so what's going on here? And so, you know, it started to become a real like governance thing. Like you're looking at this, and this is a non-for-profit, which is so interesting in itself. You've got this non-for-profit company that's now forming a commercial business that is largely for-profit, that is funded almost entirely by corporations that are going to make massive amounts of money because of the implementation of this technology. And yet you've got a board that's largely full of people that are not even close to the level of being able to govern something that's got this kind of trajectory. Of course, you've got Altman, you know, himself as a non-shareholder of the company, which is super weird. I still don't
shareholder of the profitable company.
Right.
We think
it's not really clear. Again, leaving more kind of weirdness in this whole situation. And then with this thing, like, it's so funny, Pat, but you know, I'm not going to just diatribe here. I'm going to talk a little bit and I'm going to hand it to you, and maybe we can circle back since we were so efficient here. But you know, it was super interesting to me is how then like it got resolved, and then really just like it was just over. Like for a week, this was like the thing. There was nothing else that was going on. It was the only news, and every day was like a soap opera. And all of a sudden, it was like over, and he's just back, and it's good. Everything's pretty much the same. And, you know, all I can think to myself is, as we were listening to AWS talk about Bedrock, and we're listening to this kind of multi-open model approach, and you're listening to how this is going to work in the wild with real enterprises and how different models are good at different things. And, you know, all I could think to myself is, gosh, this sure serves as a great moment for Microsoft to maybe say, we like OpenAI, but we're going to really lean into some partnerships here with Anthropic, Cohere. And by the way, you know, this oddly gave the company permission to do so. I don't know if there's any real correlation between those things, but gosh, what a nice moment to maybe go back on that sort of, we're going to bet all in on a single partner here and open the opportunity for them to say, we're going to bet on an ecosystem, which seems to work best in every industry these days.
Yeah, to me, that's great analysis, Dan. And governance is, while it doesn't sound sexy, you know, if you come in and, you know, you don't have the voting rights, Dan, you know, things can happen that get, you know, very challenging. And I think we saw the fragility, but the value of generative AI out there. You know, Microsoft can't get too close to OpenAI, and I don't think, you know, they're way too big of a company with way too much scrutiny on them for them to own OpenAI. So I didn't see that. I mean, that was my. I had 4 scenarios that I was rolling out to the media, and you know, I think I was on Singapore News. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You know, to match up with your Fox.
Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, I got you now.
No, but that was a last scenario because Microsoft, I can't even imagine the scrutiny. There will be mistakes made with generative AI. I think we did see the community come together and say, listen, this whole, when AI gets a consciousness, and awakes, like HAL 2000, um, this is when it gets really super challenging. And the community came out and said, not this year and not for the next 5 years. And apparently, the big thing that OpenAI was working on that freaked everybody out was a more efficient way to do these models that take dramatically less GPU power.
And AGI, right? The whole AGI thing was.
Exactly, and that was just my way of talking about HAL 2000 consciousness. But yeah, AGI, and getting there quicker. Yeah, on AGI, and the board member who stood down this week saying it wasn't about that. I'm sorry, I don't buy that. I just 100% think that's a bold-faced lie, um, and not honest. So now, there's still lingering questions, I think, out there on what happened.